and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're looking at a few things from the Autumn Winter catalogue. We're into Christmas, so we're doing lots of Christmas things. And we're looking at, on page 25, the lovely Whimsy and Wonder Speciality Designer Series paper. We used it the other day with the presents and cut some of those out. Today we're using one of the other sheets. Lovely colour range in there: Polished Pink, Blushing Bride, Mossy Meadow, Mint Macaron, Misty Moonlight and Iridescent. And then we have these lovely iridescent snowflakes. Now they are called Wonderful Snowflakes. You get 24 and they're £5.50, which I think is really good. And we're going to do something with those because I've got that, as you know, my motto is very much waste not, want not. So I wanted to show you how to do some things wasting nothing at all. So the iridescent snowflakes, Wonderful Snowflakes. They come in sheets like this. So you get 6 to a sheet. They literally just pop out very easily and then you can put them onto a card or a base or something and they look beautiful. However, you are then left with a large amount of space here. I've already taken out the inside bits, and if you take something like the Starlit Punch, you can punch out a whole pile of little iridescent stars. So I think that that's really rather good. You can also do all sorts of other things, but I just have the punch available, so I've done that out of those. And you can still see I've got an awful lot left. All I've done is just taken the little strip down the middle and a couple of little pieces here. So don't waste that. So I will be doing some more of that later on. And then in between, just got some couple of pieces left of this, in between each layer of this, you have some tissue paper. And this stops all of these little pieces from sticking. And so you have, I don't know how many sheets, but you have, each one of them is covered with a sheet of tissue paper. So I thought, let's do something with that tissue paper as well. So we have, this is the paper, and what I've done with the paper is I have just cut it in half, and I've fussy cut out some of these shapes because I think that they are just absolutely beautiful. You've got this iridescent, which I hope is showing up on the camera, and you know, this little deer is so sweet. These lovely baubles, they're just lovely, and you can take them out as a whole, or you can just fussy cut them out. Not too difficult, to be quite honest, and I've done that. So, you know, that's not going to take too long. So I'm going to move that out of the way as well because we don't want that. And we're going to start with showing you a card with the really pretty designer series paper, Whimsy and Wonder. So this first one, I just cut down the sheet so I had the lovely deer at the top. I've mounted it on some Misty Moonlight, and then all I will do with that is to just put a sentiment and possibly some ribbon or something round it, and that's given me a card because I love this one there as it is on its own. So that's one idea for you. The next one is, and we'll do this one together. So I've got my Misty Moonlight background. I could have had the Blushing Bride, or I could have had the Polished Pink, but I didn't want it to be overly pink. And then all I've done is the ones I've cut out, I'm going to do a small one and a large one, and then a small one. I'm going to tuck the small ones underneath, and a large one, and then tuck the other small one underneath. Level them up so they're the right place, and then all I need to do is to put a sentiment underneath, and that's given you another card very simply. So this is out of literally half a sheet. So that will give you another card. I'm not going to put them all together, I'm just giving you the ideas. Then I've taken some of the, this is the Misty Moonlight, cut the largest circle out and then the next one down in white. Reverse the paper because you've got this lovely trees and things on that side. Then I've just taken the circle, we're going to put that in on top. Couple of baubles, and I also cut out the little bows because I think that they would look quite pretty. And then put that in on top, maybe put that on there, and then I'd have the sentiment across the bottom. So that gives you another one. And then on this one, I have got the same sort of thing. These are my little iridescent stars that I've put on. So again, I'm just sort of showing you the ideas behind it because I know that you can then build it up as you want it. So on this one, I have done exactly the same thing if we take it off. So I always cut something out of my base. So I've cut the largest circle out of the base. There's the paper again. There's our circle that goes in on the center. There's our really rather nice, this is the pink bauble, and I can put the little bows on top of there. I'd put these all up with dimensionals. Then we've got, this is the same color, so this is the Misty Moonlight, and what you can do is you can put two of them in underneath like that. I'd tuck that one in underneath, or you could save that for another card. You could put it in with the pink, so you could have that in with that on here, gives you another combination. Or you can just have that as your focal and then take some of the iridescent stars and literally just sort of dot those about as you want in there. And I'm just sort of popping them about in on here. And you've then got the, I need to put it up so you can see it. You've got the really lovely iridescent flowers. Again, pop a sentiment over. So, you know, there is an awful lot you can do just out of one sheet of this designer series paper and the little iridescent pieces from the snowflakes. Now, if I go on to, this is the one that we are going to replicate, and this is what I have done with the tissue paper. So I'm going to show you how we're going to achieve that. That would then go on to, and I've taken the colours of the mint macaron and blushing bride together so that that gives that tonal thing. I've then taken, so to finish it off, I've taken again a circle out of the back of this. So I've cut it. Oh, have I done it on that one? No, I haven't. I've done it on the other one, but doesn't matter. That will go in on top. This is our iridescent snowflake that goes in on there. And this is the really sweet little deer that will then go on top. And then I will put that up with dimensionals and pop a sentiment on. So I'm going to show you how we do this paper. Great fun, really easy to do. And all we need is, let me get it, a piece of the tissue paper. So you can make two of them out of one piece that's in there. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just crumple it up. Now, crumple it up fairly gently because it is tissue paper, but you know, you just want to crumple it up to get some nice little sort of creases and things going on. So then when you open it up, you can see you've got some nice little creases and things going on. Okay, so just make sure you've got quite a few little creases, and then we're going to fold it out. Now I take a piece of copy paper because otherwise it's going to come through, and this time I think I'm going to do it in Misty Moonlight and Mint Macaron and just see how that comes out. So I'm going to do the Mint Macaron first of all. So just open your pad, and all you're going to do is to very gently just sort of dab it over the top, and you can see that it literally will just come over the raised bit. So it gives you that sort of crinkly sort of look, which I think is rather nice. Now I'm going to take some Misty Moonlight, and again, so I'm doing my darker colour afterwards because then it won't affect the ink pad at all. And again, I'm just going to put a little bit in on there because it is quite dark, but it will just give maybe just another little bit down on there. Beautiful. Okay, so that's just given a little bit on there. Okay, now we need to, once that has had just a second to dry, we need to get our Versamark, and we don't actually sell any really sparkly embossing powder anymore. We used to do various different ones, but we don't. I'm just making sure that that's dried off a bit, because you can see it's quite the Mossy Meadow is sorry, the Misty Moonlight is quite a dark colour. So I'm going to then take my Versamark, and I'm literally just going right the way across both ways with the Versamark. Now, I've had this holographic embossing powder for years and years and years, but any sparkly embossing powder that you have will work for this. So all I'm doing now is literally just covering it, because you want that sort of iridescent twinkly look, and this just happens to be quite sparkly holographic. So, and then just pick up the edge, and it doesn't matter about using the embossing buddy or anything like that, because you want as much of it to be sparkly as you possibly can. So I'm just going to flick the excess off because I don't really want too much of it. Lay that on the side, and then I can put these bits back in. But it works really well, and as I say, if you can get hold of some, you just want sparkly iridescent, and I expect most of us have got some in our stash anyway, so you know, just put what you've got in your stash. So I'm just going to get that onto the floor, because you will get little bits coming up from there. I'm going to fold it in half because I want to put this in on here till I've covered it. And then all we need to do is to get our heat tool. So you'll have to excuse it. I'm going to heat it up and just keep it on off camera for a minute. And I use a pair of scissors or something to hold it down, because it's tissue paper. It will blow about otherwise. And then all we're going to do is to melt the embossing powder, and on tissue paper it goes quite quickly, so we just need to move it across. It'll also give it a slightly sort of translucent look as well, which is rather nice. So I'm just taking that up. It's really not rather nice actually, because now it's going through the mint macaron and the Misty Moonlight together. almost look like the evening evergreen. So I'm just making sure that I've done it right the way across, which I think is fine. So I can then undo that. And then we have this rather lovely iridescent tissue paper. So it's completely see-through. You can't sort of see through it at all, but you have this really lovely shiny part on it. So I've got just a piece of basic white, and I am then going to stick this on. Now, the easiest way to stick it on, in my opinion, is to use some form of tape runner. So I've got the Stamp and Seal Plus, and what you need to do is you need to put it down all the way around the edge. So right the way around the edge. And then I tend to put just one down in on the centre. I don't tend to put any more than that, because it doesn't matter if a little bit sort of sticks up a bit. And then we've just got to try and get this just stuck on nicely, so it goes where we want it. So I tend to just sort of put it down so that it's in on the right sort of position, and then just smooth it out. And it's quite a good idea if you turn it onto the other side and just give it a slight rub. It will then come through where you want it, and you can see you've got this really rather lovely iridescent background. So that is I was looking to see, and as I say, I have used the Misty Moonlight, but it's come out almost like Evening Evergreen. So if I take, just looking to see on a different one, so let's take it on this one, like this. So you could put that in on here like that, and then you can take your, we want it in sort of an evening. Let's do it in the blue one, and I just want to put some of the, so we can have our blue piece in there on the center. And I'm just going to take some of the, you see these are quite pretty ones, aren't they? So we could have these two in here together, and then put a sentiment on. Or in fact, they would probably be better with the blue ones in there. So put those in together. We can put the little bows in on top. I'm just turning that around. And then put a sentiment through in underneath. But that gives you just a really rather fun, you've got the iridescent coming through. And what you could do is, in fact, that would probably look as better still, is to take one of the iridescent snowflakes. So let's put that in underneath. As I say, I'm not sticking anything down for you because we don't need to do that. You know, you can just get the ideas to give you some inspiration. So we'll put that one down, and this one can then go in over the top, the iridescent one. And then I could just have one in on the center with a bow, like that, and then just put the sentiment in underneath, or I can just turn it so that we've got two in like that. I think two probably looks a little bit better, because even though you've got not as much of the snowflakes poking out, you still have a little bit of it. So that is the one with the blue on the tissue paper. You could do it in whatever colours you want. I just wanted to show you that you could actually make it quite sort of Christmassy. So that's on that one. So that's not wanting to straighten up that annoys me. As I say, I'm not gluing anything down because it's just giving you the idea. And then this is the one that I did with the Blushing Bride. So you've got sort of two tones in there. I quite like it with the two tones because it gives that real sort of mottled look, but you still get that really lovely shimmery look. And as I say, you've got all of the other card ideas that I showed you at the beginning, but I thought it was a great way of using all of the pieces in between for your stars, and then the tissue paper allows you to make some lovely background as well. So hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.